Hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it get put together live, send me a message today. Alrighty, so we're going to kick it off tonight with one that I'm excited about. It's this one here in the new, or relatively new, Corsair 5000T case.
I didn't even know it existed until Katelyn was like, "Oh, this is." It's like, ah.
It is only new,
How new?
within the last couple of months or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or at least I haven't. If it was released earlier than that, I haven't seen it at the wholesalers and retailers that I normally buy from until quite recently. So I'm calling it new because I haven't built in it yet. So it's new to me. That's all that matters. If it's new to me, it's got to be new to a lot of other people as well. So I just figure that's appropriate. Yeah.
Jerry says, nerd toy.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. The new PC case is always good fun. So yeah, this is going to be really good. The only part in this build that's going to be black is the graphics card, but that's because Katelyn's got her heart set on the Aorus Master graphics card with the addressable screen. It's got a little screen on the side of it there. We couldn't get it in white, and none of the white ones really had that. So it's about more than just being white. The key thing that Katelyn wanted with this one was the two addressable screens. So that's why we've gone with the very expensive but good quality NZXT Kraken Z73 RGB with the addressable screen. Yeah, they're about 450 Aussie dollars, or as I like to say, 450 dollary doos. So I think the Simpsons kind of nailed that one. Like they completely, like, it's rare for another culture to like analyze our culture and then come up with something that's completely perfect. But I think dollary doos is bloody brilliant, if you ask me. Alrighty, yep. Hey, Camo Games, how you going? Good to have you with us. Alright, well let's get into the components here tonight. So we've gone with the 11600K CPU from Intel, so 6 cores, 12 threads, unlocked and overclockable. These outtakes could be so funny if we recorded a separate feed of this, eh? So we got the 11600K, then we got the B560A gaming Wi-Fi motherboard from Asus. It's a decent quality motherboard. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It's got a lot of silver on it, so it's going to fit really nicely with our white theme here. We got 32 gigabytes of Corsair memory, so 3200 megahertz CL16 memory. Just a little drive here for Windows here, because Katelyn's got her own other drives that she's going to be installing here. So we're just doing a fresh install of Windows on a nice modern NVMe SSD. As discussed, we've got the Gigabyte Aorus Master RTX 3080 here. So this is going to be, it is a really good card. The Master is kind of Aorus's answer to the ROG Strix and to the MSI Supreme. So all those cards are like their sort of flagship cards. We got a 750 watt Corsair power supply here. It's got a 5-year warranty, 80 plus bronze efficiency, but the reason why we've chosen this one, not so much because it has RGB, but because the cabling that comes with it is all white cabling. So for a 750 watt power supply, we're not really going to find another one with white cables at the same price as this one. And yeah, if anyone asks, there's nothing wrong with the 750 watt power supply here. Chuck these specs into a calculator. You'll see that this build, even at its like most intensive, won't use all the power that 750 watt power supply can put out. It's bronze rated efficiency, so even if it's at 90%, it's still nice and efficient. not going to be a problem here at all. I can always have at least one person concerned about the power supply wattages and stuff like that. People have it in their heads that they need a lot more power than what they actually do with PCs. They're like, oh, but there's RGB, and then they forget that the RGB is using like hardly any wattage at all. It's all very, very efficient LED lighting and stuff like that. So it doesn't chew a great deal of power. The main things in your computer that chew power is your graphics card, your motherboard, and your CPU. That's where the majority of the power consumption is there. A little bit extra for the lights, a little bit extra for like, you know, your CPU pumps, any mechanical drives that you have, etc. But the bulk of the power is from those three devices there that I mentioned. So as long as you factor those in, plus another couple of 100 watts, you've got plenty of power for your PC. So there's a great power supply calculator at outervision.com. You might want to check that one out if you're interested. That's the one that I will always use if I want to sense check myself, or if I have a customer who's concerned that they need more power than what they do. And like normally if they just want a little bit more, I'm more than happy just I'll just give them what they want. But when they have a PC that's going to use like a maximum of like maybe 400-500 watts absolute maximum, and they want a 1,000-watt power supply, and they want to spend like an extra $120 on the power supply, when really they should spend an extra $120 on their graphics card or something like that, I'm going to point that out to the person, right? It's my duty. I've got a duty to do that kind of thing. Yeah, yep.
Okay, so sorry for all the questions, but is Gigabyte GeForce RTX 3060 worth it?
Is it worth it? Well, it depends what price you can get it compared to some of the other RTX 3060 cards, because obviously there's not very much variance between the different RTX 3060 cards. There's usually single digit performance between them. So usually it's a case of you can look up the reviews and you can watch that. You can see the detailed benchmark ratings, like Hardware Unboxed. They do really, really good in-depth reviews where they get like every motherboard, every graphics card, and they like go through it all. Those guys are brilliant.
Yeah,
so if you want to fine tune and sort of work out where different cards sit relative to each other within that sort of card model, like RTX 3060.
3060 Eagle.
Yeah, generally with the Eagles. So the Eagles, 3060 Eagles, okay. I generally shy away a little bit from the 3060 Ti, 3070 Ti Eagles. However, I don't have any problems with the 3080 Eagles. I think by the time you get to 3080, you can't make a 3080 that's like a complete piece of shit, right? Because it's a 3080.
Yeah.
So like once you get up to there, they're sort of, there's a minimum standard that they have to sort of maintain for that. Whereas what I've noticed with the 3060 Ti's and 3070s in the Eagle is with the GA104 GPU that's in 3060 Ti, 3070 and 3070 Ti, with that one there in particular, they get really, really hot. The Eagles run like considerably hotter than other models. So there's something to do with the cooling capacity of the cooler that's on those cards that's not up to scratch with the other ones. The 3060, however, that's the GA106 GPU, and that is not on the same level as the GA104 cards, and it doesn't run as hot, so the Eagle's fine. No problems there at all. So I would say to most people looking at 3060, if you're a serious gamer, I'd be looking at 3060 Ti. Make 3060 Ti your reality, because it's a big step up from 3060. Go and like type in RTX 3060 versus RTX 3060 Ti, and you'll find a whole heap of information about those two being compared, and you'll see that there is a considerable step up there. Just because they have like the same name, that they're actually two completely different GPUs under the hood there. So the card names are similar, but the actual GPUs on those cards are two completely different things. To give you a bit of nerd little bit of nerd stuff about the GPUs. The GA106 is basically a revision of NVIDIA's TU106, which is what's in the 2060. So it's like a revision of that, but with more VRAM. So it is an updated GPU. It's not the same as a TU106, but if you look at the architecture, it's pretty clear to see that the engineers have kind of upgraded that old design there. Whereas GA104 and GA102, which is what 3060 Ti and above are based on, they are the fundamentally new Ampere architecture that was released with RTX 30 series. That's why the first cards that they released was the RTX 3090, the RTX 3080, the RTX 3070. Then they released the 3060 Ti, which is just the same GPU as the 3070, and it was a bit later on that the the GA106 card, the 3060, and then the subsequent 3050 were released. So it goes to show NVIDIA's priority there was with those two new, fundamentally new products, and then the refresh came later. So basically, the point of my whole big rant here is, if you're looking at 3060 and you're trying to decide which 3060 is best for you, the answer is probably it's actually a 3060 Ti that'll be best for you. Because the thing about, you might go, oh, but it's got 12 gigabytes of VRAM. The GPU can't really, operate at resolutions properly that utilize that much VRAM anyway. So you don't buy a 3060 to game at 4K, for example. So you're never going to use all the VRAM that's there. It's good if you want to do like 3D modeling and you can utilize lots of VRAM and stuff for your work. But for a gamer, not so much. The 3060 Ti with 8 gigabytes of VRAM will give you that, 240 frames per second at 1080p sort of gaming experience, and that's really what most people are sort of after these days. Like there's plenty of people who like 1440 with the higher end cards, but for everyone in the mid-range and budget, it's still all about 1080p gaming these days. Alrighty, so I think I've spoken enough.
Yeah, Ammo Games says thanks for the advice too.
No, that's alright, that's alright. I like getting asked questions because it gives me the opportunity to elaborate on some of this shit. Because I don't know what people don't know. I don't know what people want to hear me talk about while I build these PCs. So it's always good to get asked questions. Because if not, I sort of run out of things to say, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I do this every day, and it's a case of, I've got all this knowledge about a lot of things, but it's a case of you don't know where to start. I go through the basics and stuff like that, so anyone who's watching, the PC being built for the first time, they've got a bit more of an idea of what's going on. Like, I know Katelyn's not new to PCs. She's she's the sort of person who's had PCs her whole life, etc. So I don't need to go through everything from the ground up with Katelyn. Yeah. Hey, who was? Did you say Mick? Yeah. Hey Mick, how you going?
Patrick says Elon March bought Twitter for 43 billion. All I did was download it for free from the App Store.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, I don't know why anyone would pay that sort of money for Twitter, but anyway, and like he says it's about free speech and stuff like that, but didn't like Donald Trump try and make a free speech social media app, and it was like a big flop?
Yeah,
and wasn't there like multiple other ones that were like meant to be like big free speech, like anything goes? Didn't they all fail though?
Yeah, they all failed.
So this is what just confuses me. I'm just like, huh? What fucking... Did I wake up in a different freaking dimension or some shit? Like... And like, I mean, last I heard the board was going to poison pill it.
Yeah, they did. Well, they tried...
I don't know. I think they tried to, but then it was just negotiated around. Oh well, money talks, but
yeah, I guess.
But yeah, but the point is right. Like, I don't use Twitter, right?
No,
I'm not. I don't use Twitter. The only time I see things on Twitter is when someone does something or says something stupid and it's reported about in the media, and I get to read it and have a laugh. So it doesn't really affect me. But I'm just like, is anyone going to be rushing back to Twitter? Like, is anyone going to be rushing to Twitter because it's like free speech? I don't feel like my free speech is like being trampled on. So I don't know. Does everyone else feel like their free speech is being trampled on? I feel like I get to express whatever opinion I want, and it's okay. I don't threaten anyone or anything like that, and I don't know, man. I don't get what the big deal is with all this shit. Yeah. Oh, it's so shiny. Oh, it's gonna look amazing.
Dude, I'm so jealous of you right now.
And so yeah, this Kraken cooler, by the way, it's not black like you see
No,
in the
white.
picture on the box. It's white. The only thing that's black is the graphics card, but it still looks, a white rig with a black graphics card still looks mint.
There's some black on the motherboard, so...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Trust me, I've got a mainly black graphics card and a white PC, but it still looks good.
Yeah, well, there's hardly any boards that are actually like a white PCB, like the actual board.
I've never seen a white PCB motherboard before.
Oh, they have them. They're like, I don't think they're actually like white all the way through. I think they're just like coated or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to
Like
break one. I'd have to like saw one in half to see. But yes, no. MSI made a couple of like white motherboards. The titanium series. Look up MSI titanium motherboards. Alrighty, so I think actually realistically on this board both our M2 slots are in good spots, because the top one says Gen 4 and the other one doesn't. I'm going to put it in the bottom slot and leave the other one free. Sometimes motherboard manufacturers, when they have things marked in such a way, it'll be like, you know, it won't work with frickin' Gen 3 drives, it won't be backwards compatible or something like that. So, I mean, I've done a few builds on this board before, B560 ROG Strix, because it's a pretty good value board, especially considering it's an ASUS board. ASUS are like they make good motherboards and stuff, right? But the problem is they know they make good motherboards, and so all of their stuff on like the low and sort of mid-range is all kind of like the bare minimum that they can get away with selling for that price. Once you get up to like the high-end stuff, it's pretty good. They've got like some of the best high-end motherboards that you can get, blah 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 blah. But yeah, like I said, the problem is they fucking know it, right? Speaking of people who know it and stuff like that, you know, Nvidia learned a dangerous lesson in 2021. And if you don't know what lesson they learned, Nvidia learned that gamers will pay $4,000 for a GPU. Before COVID, before like 2020 and it all beginning, right? There was no reality where Nvidia thought that they could sell a graphics card for more than like $2,000. Absolute maximum. Now they know that they can sell them for basically double. That's not necessarily the best news for gamers, okay? So Watch and see what happens with Gen 4. Sorry, with 40 series. But I am expecting, yeah. Oh, nice. Very nice. I think I've shown this to you before, babe.
It sounds familiar.
Christine's gonna check it out. It's the Obsidian 1000.
That one's
The old like big Corsair case.
oh, I like it.
Then there's also that Leon Lee one. And there's also a really high-end Cooler Master one. I can't remember the freaking name of it either. Okay. So NZXT Kraken coolers come with a 6-year warranty from manufacturer. So that's pretty good. Corsair, Asus, and Gigabyte, the other main brands on the high end, they only offer 5, but I wouldn't read too much. I wouldn't read too much into that. NZXT are the new kids on the block in the high end all-in-one liquid cooler segment, so it doesn't surprise me from a business perspective that they choose to go that extra year on top of Corsair and their main competitors in the category. It's an easy way to win over consumers and boost their confidence in the new brand, basically, or newish brand. So I shouldn't say newish brand. What I really mean to say is a brand that they might not be familiar with. Like they might know, most people know Corsair, okay? Most people. Okay, so we don't have a plate to change or any of that. All we have is this mounting bracket. So that looks like just the inner position there for this. There we go. So yeah, easy to hold that plate on when you've got the board out. It's very easy to install it like this. Very hard when you've got it in the case. No, we're not AM4. This looks like our Intel bolts here. And what do we got? Alrighty, so that is all good to go. We got pre-applied thermal compound on this. So the only other thing to consider is how this is going to be mounted. So I'm thinking something like this. Because I think we'll probably put another fan on the back there. I'm thinking that'll probably be good. Yeah, that'll look the best. So yeah, basically like that in the case, and that should work out pretty good. Yeah.
It says I feel a bit queasy buying it, but I've wanted one for young. It's a lot of money for a case.
Yeah, it is, but
it's a really
but think
nice
about it.
case.
Think about it, dude. It's something that you can.
Last for a
Yeah,
long
it's
time.
something that you can own for a while.
And you can do other things that it seems to function.
Like I bought a Cougar Panzer case, and that was like over $300, and to me that was a ridiculous amount of money to spend on a case. But I've done some hard mods to it and stuff like that, and yeah, it looks pretty cool these days. I reckon I'm pretty happy with it, and I know that what I've got is not something that someone else is gonna have.
The case that you've got, you can side mount
Side
it.
mounted.
Graphics card.
Oh yeah. In mix new case. Yeah. I thought you meant in this one. No, we're not side mounting this one because of the screen.
I was just looking at the back of the mix one. Huh. You can put like 2 fans on the back.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. You can put a 240.
Just go get all really nice fans. Don't worry about like people going, oh the Corsair SL fans are better than the QR ones. If you've got a big case like that, you'll have shitloads of fans. You'll just want to, buy the fans to make it look cool. Run them all on minimum all the time because you won't have any problems with airflow with that many fans. Or just run open case like I do. Okay. And we've got, with these NZXT fans, we have to run the RGB cable to the fans. So it's kind of like in reverse to what we normally do. And so here's our cable kit here. And so they give you these little in and out cables. And there we go, got one of them in. Alrighty, so we've got the two little connectors there for those two fans, and then we just need to route this cable here. Yeah.
Mixes straight up and move into the case instead of the doghouse.
That's it.
Shane says today.
Hey Shane, how you going? Shane will be waiting, if it's the same Shane I'm thinking of, Shane will be waiting patiently for his PC if it hasn't arrived. Or maybe impatiently at this stage if there's been postage delays. Poor Kel. Oh man. He's had the worst luck with frickin' postage. Fuck. Okay. So I'll probably Alrighty, that should have pretty good even pressure. Sweet as. So our cooler is all ready to go. So now, finally, we can turn our attention to the case. So the case has nice hinged panels here. And so,
And Shane says good thanks, I still haven't ordered it yet. It will be next month.
oh, this is a different Shane to who I was thinking of.
Tim gets a lot of people.
Yeah, sorry man, please don't feel insulted. Okay, so we're going to remove that panel. There's a little bolt to undo to take these panels off at the top, so they don't just like push back and lift off. But we'll go and remove the rear panel as well. Alrighty, so what do you get with this? You get room for multiple 360mm radiators or fan setups. So we can mount some fans even back here if we wanted to, like Leon Lee style. And then we can remove this panel in here and that'll expose all of that there. So there's a lot of different case configurations you can use. This panel here, this comes off if you want to have a front mounted radiator. In our case today we're going to be top mounting the radiator, so it's not going to be a problem. What have we got? The cable management from these Corsair fans could probably be done a little bit better. We got Velcro, built-in Velcro strips here like all Corsair cases do. Or all the like higher end ones anyway. Oh jeez. What have we got here? We got a Corsair Commander Pro pre-installed here. Okay, so we got the Corsair Commander Pro there, as you can clearly see. 3 fans, 3 PWM. Then we have this other one here, and I'm assuming this is controlling all of our case lights, and that's controlled through one of these little, like the LED headers there. Yeah, okay. It's got the temp indicator wire pre-installed there and hooked up to our Corsair Commander Pro. And let's just go reset. Cool. Then over here, these are just extension cables for our PWM fans. So they can pretty much, other than that, that's front panel, but these can pretty much just go back to where they were because they're already sort of tied down and managed pretty well. We can just put our other cables down over the top of that. That'll be pretty easy. And what do we get down here? Where would this guy be? Is it just an alternate direction plate or something to replace that front bit? I would be assuming, I'm curious now. that's got a plastic clip on it, like what's on the front of our case. Not sure what we're meant to do with this one there. I mean, that's not the right way to install it. Either way, I don't believe it's overly necessary. Here's our white cables. And here's our white power supply. So this will look nice at the back of our case, keeping everything nice and white. The rear I/O shield on the motherboard there will be white as well. So, alrighty, so we need our addressable RGB cable there. So we can use the 5 volt generic conversion, but because we've got the Commander Pro here, we'll probably hook up with that. Here's one we definitely need, our main power for our motherboard. 24 pins on one end, 30 pins on the other. Single CPU. And both PCIe. Remember, it's the solid 8-pin side that goes into the connector. The split side goes into the card. Don't fuck that one up. Okay, so for this PC, we're going to move over to our chrome bolts. So we get a lot of excess chrome bolts from like Leon Lee cases and stuff. But that'll look a little bit nicer with the white. We've got a lot of white and silver going on. So we shall use the chrome ones. And this is why I have a bag of this shit. Just for times like this. can we? Oh yeah. Oh, we're giving this case a bit of a chrome up.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. So, we got any adjustments inside the case? No, it's a pretty straightforward operation from this point onwards. Okay. So we won't have anything we need to like route behind the motherboard or anything trippy like that tonight. There we go. Now I'm going to make sure we continue our chrome theme bolts. Oh, are they we're talking thick gauge on here? Okay, that's fine too. I got thick gauge. Okay, so basically to get our cooler in, we've got these cables here to conceal. So the easiest way, we just go straight out here, nice and easy. Comes off really easily, actually. And so we're not going to be bothering with chrome bolts up here because no one's going to see them anyway. but I will go ahead and screw all of these in. Normally I just put a couple in, tilt the PC back up and sort of move on and do the rest when I get a bit of time. Oh, I just nicked that slightly. Let me get my tweezers to fix that. That's not no big deal. I nicked the radiator fins with my screwdriver. It just slipped. I just need my tweezers.
Good on you.
I know, right? How clumsy am I? How dare my screwdriver slip off the screw? No, I'm just making light of the situation.
Wow. You have had dinner. Shush.
There we go. I see. There we go. This at the back here is not a handle. I'm going to leave that sticker on just so no fatal mistakes get made in the early days. Alrighty, so... You are going to stay down there. Serious. What's up?
Kathlyn's post. We've now graduated to lay on the floor tantrums. Toddler life just got weird.
Okay, it's been pretty good.
Life is hard when you're a toddler, isn't it?
I know. The plight of the whinging kid. The plight of the whinging kid is inconsequential to everybody else. I'll be a good dad, eh? Speaking in words the kids don't understand fully. What's a plight, Dad?
What's consequential?
What's inconsequential mean? It doesn't matter, son.
We'll find out later.
It's like Bart talking to Homer. What about adultery? None for your old son.
On the outside too. Just try to get a baby gecko that's on the outside of the glass and keep pouring at it.
Oh, true.
It's on the outside, dude. Might get it.
He doesn't understand glass fully.
No, he like tried to go this big massive gecko on the glass earlier and he looked like a veins on it. You're a naughty cat.
Okay. Alright, so that's all looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's huge. You could do EATX in this case as well if you wanted to. You could definitely fit it. I don't know if it says it on the specifications. Okay. Well, not much room for this addressable cable from our Corsair power supply, so that'll pretty much just have to go straight up. They're those temp indicator wires. I usually put one behind my CPU and one behind my graphics card, just to see what the bottom of the socket's doing, because there's normally another temp indicator like at the top there. So we can chuck them in last. Now, where was... Okay, so to redo those cables at the top, we need to remove this.
Good job, buddy.
Okay. So I don't know why they were all just routed through to one place. And it's like a premium case. You'd think that we'd be minimising all review of cables on the front side of our case.
No way. Oh, Tim, you can get the DeLorean Lego.
Oh, true.
I want it. Ah, take my money.
Okay. So yeah, this can easily be the part that like everyone gets daunted with when there's all these cables and shit like that. Okay, we'll continue a little bit of chromification here, because we want this to be fucking awesome. I won't be able to replace every single black bolt in this case with a chrome one. But we'll be able to do a lot of them. Oh, fancy. So I can daisy chain my USB 2 here. I like that. You're insincere. I like that. Sorry, that's my out of all of them, that's my favourite one. Alrighty. Starting to take a bit of shape back here. I am going to install this second SATA cable. There's no fucking way I'm going to get that. I will have to quickly unscrew this. It's just we've got like 3 RGB cables to plug in, and there's only 4 SATA ports on this cable, and I'd like to have one cable sort of free to do drives, and then I'd rather just route this one all to the one spot in our case, just to plug in all of those SATA power connections. Time 9:30. Okay. So now that we installed that SATA power cable, I do have a whole heap of SATA power that I'm going to plug in. We're going to get all these SATA power cables in like the one place in our case. Okay, so these cables here, these are like extra fan cables. We don't really need them. CPU power. So we'll use this to sort of conceal some of our cables so it's all light inside. Okay. Oh, let's get these 10 sensitors in place. Alright, so that one can just live behind the CPU. And then maybe with number 2, can I like to get it on the actual radiator, because that'd be the most useful location for it, realistically. These Corsair builds can get very, very messy out back. I'll try to leave it clean because Katelyn will be installing some SSDs. So we'll do what we can without going crazy with the old zip ties. There we go. That's all sorted. Okay, so these SATA cables, I'll just stash them away in the 3.5-inch trays there. And sweet, we're left with motherboard, graphics card, and our case connections. Yeah.
Kyle, Katelyn, I sent you a message on Messenger about a PC build, just waiting on a reply. Do you think a R7 and 5800 X3D is better money spent over 5900X or 5950X?
Well, it depends what you want to use it for. For gaming. Because the 5800 X3D or whatever, that is a toasty boy. You don't want to use that for anything other than gaming, from what I've heard. It's like a 99-12-900K, tuning that for productivity, where you got to cut back the voltages and stuff like that, like you would have seen me doing the other night with I think that was actually Shane's computer. My memory serves me right, which it probably isn't. My memory's fucking shithouse. But when it comes to names and stuff, I can remember random facts, no fucking problem.
Tim?
Yeah.
Miss Walsh, she says, hi, so I spoke to you about getting a quote. I'll send you the exact parts I need.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Sounds good. We need to sell more PCs so I can stay home.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Whoa. And no dual USB, but we do have Type C. Okay. I do have a USB 2 to 3. I'll chuck in a little $3 adapter, I guess. Alright, you twisted my arm. Alright, and this one. Yeah.
It's nice and light.
Yeah, it's pretty white. It's about, like, we could have made it whiter, but no, I think it's pretty good. Okay, and finally, our graphics card. Sweet! Here it is. RTX 3080 Aorus Master. Oh, magnetic box, very nice. We shouldn't really say it's a magnetic box, it's more of a crate. Magnetic crate. Oh, that is a chunky card. That is, geez, that's a 3.3 slot for you. Check this out. This lady got the thickness. Can I get a witness?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Covered in plastic, of course. Can't have a flagship without it. Absolutely covered in plastic. Is there any in the back here anywhere?
No,
Nothing?
I'm sure it has it on the fans. Oh, they're it's so stuck on. Oh, I got it. You're probably much faster at this than I am. Oh my goodness. Oh, jeepers. That's heavy as. That's actually probably one of the heaviest graphics cards I've actually ever had. Oh, jeepers. Almost gonna lie it. It's definitely over 2 kilos, I reckon. Oh, maybe 1.5. What do you reckon? He's busy.
Sorry. Okay, so just 2 slots at the back. This is definitely something that we can replace with chrome bolts for sure. There you go. And now Kate, once we do this, Katelyn's 5000T won't be the same as anyone else's in the world unless they've gone and done exactly what I've done here and replaced all of these bolts. What's up?
Check out my screen.
Yeah.
The shade of me. When you're watching the video of this again, you know, the character appears in this. And my cousin says, nah, it's you.
Oh man, I think I'm one freaking phone bolt short of a perfect set. No one will notice. Alrighty, this fucking chunky boy. Ooh yeah. Oh, we're using... I didn't notice that. We're using slots 2 and 3 here.
I'm in my studio apartment, East Town. for dinner. I've got some salmon I can make. Omega-3. But not long after I get started, about 15 minutes, I know that I've made a mistake. Now everything smells like
Okay, so we need to connect these cables in such a way So I guess the thing with this is we have to route the cables from sort of above and behind the graphics card, because if they're in the front they're going to get in the way of our screen, and that would be counterintuitive to what we're trying to achieve here. And I've got a couple of white cable ties here that would be perfect for this. Alrighty, I think the only other thing we need to do to make this all complete is one more Corsair fan on the back in white. that will pretty much complete this thing, I reckon. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm excited to fire it up and have a look-sees. Okay, so we're looking pretty good out the back there. So let's actually fire it up and see if it fucking works. That's realistically the next step, right? have a spare power cable at the moment. What's going on? Okay, so power on. It's pretty alive. Do you want to share the screen, babe?
No.
No?
No.
Still not seeing anything.
What'd you do?
What I do?
Haha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cables, man, A+ service, chrome screws, A.
Nah, it's all good. I figured that might be in order. Okay, let's see what's going on with this thing. Just give it a second, it's in a clear CMOS state. Sometimes it won't let you turn a computer on directly after you clear the CMOS. So, while I wait for that, replace some of these black screws at the back. Someone got pulled over?
Yeah.
Bow bow.
I know those sirens.
Bow bow. Logan police have stopped another one. Still doesn't want to play. It's a pain in the ass when you got a bias like this.
Tim?
Yeah.
Because that's happened before. Well, we've been here.
Alright. So yeah, there's 12 black bolts on the back here, and I'm going to replace them with chrome ones. Okay, power on. Are we posting? Yes. And I'm assuming everyone can see the screen. My wife has walked out of the room for a second. Okay, so we'll definitely need a new BIOS for this, so we'll just go ahead and save and exit. We got dual Type C on the back of this motherboard, and we've got Type C on our case as well. Oh wait, that's a Type C audio. Sorry, scrap that. One Type C on the back, one Type C on the front of the case. Okay, we'll chuck a Windows operating system on here. Nice and simple. No extra storage. So yeah, there's 12 of these bolts back here. Okay, so Australia, US keyboard layout. Yeah.
No, it says should leave one black just to mess with it. That's
Well, see, there'll be some black on it, and that'll be enough to mess with it. I can't eliminate every single thing that's black on here, so Some of the switches and stuff are black. Okay, I'll continue that. I'll continue that a bit later. Let's move on. Get things sorted. Okay. We've got a WD SSD, so we can put a Cronus for WD on here, so you can make an easy clone of your SSD or any other WD devices you got. So you can go from any WD device to a new device, or you can go from any new device to a WD device with this app. So pretty handy software to have. It's normally subscription. Okay. What's up?
Katelyn says, thanks for building my sister's PC.
No, that's alright. No problem. I was excited when she showed me what case she wanted.
Yeah, the same. So cool.
Okay, IQ.
So,
Yeah.
Katelyn says, black GPU and white case looks good.
Yeah, it does. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Depending on your personality type, it might do your head in though. Okay, that should be pretty much everything we need. Do need IQ. What's up?
Oh, someone trying to be a douchebag. JW computers cannot easily be beaten. Heaven knows why this guy is taking so long to do anything. Productivity obviously doesn't matter. Why is
Oh mate, I'm not on a dude, I'm not on a fucking production line, mate. If customers if people to build them a PC as quick as possible on a production line, they can go to one of the plenty of other boring as fuck PC businesses that do that. Well, I don't do that, mate. I do custom PC builds. I take the time to get everything right and do things right and do what the customer wants. I don't give a shit how long it takes. Okay? To me, it's not about selling fucking 50 PCs a week or something like that. I'd rather sell 10 good PCs a week than 50 pieces of shit production lines. Yeah. So just FYI, like if you want to get butthurt about what I'm doing here, maybe look at what you're doing, because that's what it sounds like. You just look like you're butthurt that I'm not doing things your way. I'm not running a business the way that you run your business. So you think that there's something wrong.
Well, the smallest violin is playing.
Yeah, basically. That's just funny. I mean, I like having that opportunity to brag and make myself look good. So thank you very much. People are dumb, eh? Why are people dumb? Why do they give you opportunities like that? Or is this my secret #1 fan? Okay, so I got distracted by all that bullshit then. Yeah, it's so funny, eh? Why would you come on and say that? You just look butthurt. And just give me an opportunity to explain why I take the time to do all this shit. Alrighty. And fucking Armory Crate installation is fucking up like it always does. So we're just gonna put a pin in that. Okay, so we should be looking pretty fucking good.
I just put that dude in timeout.
Oh no, you should leave him in there so he can write back with a butthurt reply or something.
Now, but he's in timeout.
No, just leave him there.
I can't do anything about it now.
Oh, that's funny.
You can come back later. He's just in timeout. Like, you know how you put a little kid in the corner?
Yeah, but I think what he had to say was kind of funny.
Oh no. Miss Law, she says, lucky your name is Tim and not Jim, or you'd be Jim's PC.
Yeah, I don't worry. I've already thought about that.
Hey, there was a Jim's business that went past the other day, and they're doing
Jim's hazardous material removal.
They do prime, like cleanup and stuff like that.
Yeah, crime scene and trauma cleaning.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's a job, right?
Yeah, it is. But, you know, Jim's got his finger in every
Oh,
pot.
Jim.
Every
I want to
pot.
meet Jim.
Yeah,
I want to
Jim's
meet Jim.
finance.
I want to sit down and just have just give me 5-10 minute conversation with Jim. I'd love that. I'm sure. Give me like 20 minutes, and I'll come up with a few really good questions to ask Jim that I think a lot of people would want to know the answer to as well.
That's everything from finance to...
I mean, the classic one is Jim's mowing. Jim's mowing is the classic,
Yeah.
right?
He has like air conditioning stuff and just all sorts of things.
I'd love to. I wish my name was Jim, and I could make my logo like a takeoff of the Jim's franchise.
Oh, that would be pretty good.
And see, the thing is, if my name was actually Jim, I could actually do that legally. There's nothing that the Jim's group can do to me for using my name and then describing the business that I'm running. That's one thing that you can't copyright. You can't have ownership over someone else's name.
No.
You can do what you want with your name, but yeah.
Maybe you should change your name.
Maybe I should change my name to Jim.
No, please don't.
Well, I mean, I always kind of wished my name was Jim.
Yeah, because then you get Jimmy.
I get Jimmy and fucking
Sorry, you could
my middle
change
name
your
starts.
name to James.
My middle-
and
my
still
middle-
get Jimmy.
My middle name starts with R, so I'd be JR. That's cool. Alrighty. Alright, that is one completed PC. We don't have that Asus armoring crate. I'm not going to worry about it for now. So the NZXT app will control your NZXT fans, and the Corsair IQ app will control your Corsair stuff. Alright, everything's all up to date. Might be some cumulative Windows updates or something like that, but we shall move on. Haven't done 11600K for a while, so just to give you a bit of a refresher on where it sits. Pretty good for 6 cores, 12 threads. Solid 600 there, and 4475. So we'll run Heaven here, high, no anti-aliasing. Alrighty, and Valley we do on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. Okay, so that was Valley. And the final one we do is our 4K benchmark. that replaced here. That looks like, they look like, there's some fans. Yeah, no worries. That won't be a problem. Oh. Okay, so on to the final part of the night. Stress test it, make sure everything's running well. And we'll set this up to run for, what am I doing? Set this up to run for 90 minutes. So as you can see there, this bottom fan, the lights are on but no one's home. And so I've double checked the connection. I've connected it via a different fan connection, etc. So it's definitely a faulty one that was pre-installed. Alrighty, so how are we looking? Temperatures in the mid-60s and we're about 70 degrees on the graphics card. So that's all looking good. I don't foresee any problems here, even with that fan out on the front. I'm not foreseeing any problems. This is a very, although it's all closed up, it's not like a tightly sealed case. Like there's a decent amount of gap between the case and this glass panel here, so there's no issues with, like, you know, it becoming a hot box or anything like that. But yeah, this is essentially what looks like a 4-slot graphics card. It's actually 3 and 3.25 or something like that, but it just looks massive. Alrighty. So that's where we'll leave it for the night, I think. Until I get more people bitching that I take too long to do this. But no, I don't think this is too long to spend on a PC that costs the customer over $4,000. I think if someone's going to spend $4,000, you'd like the person who's putting it together to not be like, right, you got to build 3 of these in the next 3 hours. slap them together as quick as possible, put them in a box and send them out. You don't want that when you spend big money on a PC. You want someone to go through and make sure it's all sweet before you actually pick it up. Actually put it together with a bit of care, with a thought, etc., etc. So, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.